Hello everyone, welcome back to this course on CATIA. I am Manthan Devani, your course instructor for this course. So let's begin for the day. So in the previous session, we had started doing the using the sketch command for making 2D drawings. We had learned about the profile tabs that CATIA provides. So in this, we had learned about different basic uh, 2D drawings that CATIA provides, like the rectangle, hexagon, circles, lines, etc. In this session, we will learn to modify those 2D drawings. So we will learn about the operations tab. So the operations tab provides us the fillets, chamfer, trims, mirror, symmetry, etc. So let's look at each and every one of them. So let's start with the first one. The first option in the operation tab is the corner, which is commonly known as fillet. So let's see how this works. So to have this, we need to have two corner edges. Let's take a rectangle first. Suppose I have a rectangle here, and uh, I want to give fillets to these edges. I will select this corner command, and I will select the first edge and the second edge. And you see, I can drag my mouse to the size where to which I want to have the corner. I will just place it here, and see, it automatically gives me the size. It is 6.476. If I want to change this size, I can always double click on this, and here from here you can change the radius. Suppose I want it to be 2 mm, and I will give it 2 mm. See, the size of the radius has changed. Let's try one more. Select the corner option, select the first edge, select the second edge. You see, I can drag my mouse to whatever size the radius I want. I will drag this outside to see it more clearly. So it's now 3.119. So I can double click and change the value. So if you wanted a diameter option over here, you can just click this drop down and have the diameter option and give the diameter of that arc. So let's say diameter of 3. See, I have a corner, the diameter of 3, that is a radius of 1.5. That's the corner command for us. So next command is the chamfer option. So let's see how this works. So click the chamfer command and select the first edge and the second edge. And similarly, like the corner option, the you can drag the mouse to whichever length you want, and it will give the chamfer of that length. You see, as we all know that chamfer has a degree measurement and the distance measurement. So now this is 45 degrees and 3.359. So I can always change this by double clicking this. I can change the value to 2, and I want this angle to be 60 degrees. You see, my chamfer has changed now. It's at a 60 degree and the distance is 2 mm. I will just increase the size of my rectangle so that we can clearly see the fillets and the chamfers. So in chamfer, we have different types of chamfers. Like first one is the trim all elements. Like it will trim all the outside edges and give the chamfer to me. You see, there are no outside edges, no dotted lines, no center line, anything, and it will have a chamfer, a straight out cutout chamfer. Let's see the other chamfer options that CATIA provides. So for that, I will take a hexagon so that I get more edges, more corners. Here I have a hexagon. don't want this dotted lines. The next is the trim first element. So as the name suggests, the first edge that you select will be trimmed and the second edge will remain as it is. So let's see how that looks like. Select the first edge, the second edge, and click inside the figure. So you see it work. Let's try once again. And let's try that once again. So we'll select the chamfer option and we will select the second option in this toolbar. Select the first edge, second edge, and you will see the first edge is trimmed, but the second edge is remain as it is. We generally don't use this type of chamfers, but in some cases we require to beat the second edge as it is. So CATIA provides that option also. Now let's look at the next chamfer option that we have. That is the no trim option. No trim means the edges will not be trimmed, but we will still have a chamfer. So let's see how that looks like. You see, I still have my outside corner as it is, but I have got a chamfer that is at a 30-degree and the distance of the chamfer edge is 4.5. That's the no trim option. Let's look at the another chamfer that we have. Next one is construction line trims. So as the name suggests, this trims the construction lines that we have in our figure. So in this figure we don't have a construction lines. So let's make a figure that has a construction lines with it. Let's say I will draw a triangle over here. I will make them for construction. I will select this option, construction lines trim. I will select the first edge, the second edge. I will have a chamfer over here. So here you will see I have a chamfer for construction lines also. So that are the generally used chamfer options that CATIA provides. Now let's look the other options in the operations tab. So the third is the relimitations tab. So here you can see that I have a drop down menu. So I will just drag this as we have learned earlier. We can drag these options out and we have the relimitations tab. In this tab we have trim, break, quick trim, close arc, and complement options. So let's see what these functions do. So first one is the trim. So as the name suggests, it trims the uh, 2D sketches. So let's see how that looks like. So let's say I have a rectangle over here and I have used the trim option and select this edge. So you see the line towards the left is cut out and the line on the right side is to where my cursor is. So I can drag to wherever I want this. I can extend this beyond the point or I can cut this line before the corner. This is how the trim option works. You can make the length, you can trim the edge of a 2D sketch to desired length to whatever length desired length you want. So I can extend also like this. So that's the trim command. So next is the break command. So as the name suggests, this does not breaks line, but it does the opposite of that. That is, it joins the two trimmed lines. So let's see how that looks like. So I had trimmed this line earlier. So now I will use the break command to join them. Select this edge first and this edge, and you see It has joined once again. But there is a point over here that we had generated earlier using the trim command. So make sure to delete those points, otherwise it will show errors during the while converting the 2D sketch to 3D sketch. We will learn that when we do the 3D modeling. So that's the break command. It joins the two trimmed lines. Next is the quick trim. What quick trim does is like you can, if you have over extended some lines for your visualization, you can always quick trim them by you can use quick trim to cut them out. So this is a extended line, and I only want this line up to this edge. So I will use quick trim and select this option, this line, this edge, and it will be trimmed to that the edge before that, the intersection before that. So that's how quick trim works. It cuts the line to the intersection before that line. Let's see that once again. So let's say I have a random multi-edges drawing over here. I've extended this over here. So I do not want these extended lines. I only want these lines to intersect over here. So I will use the quick trim command and I will select this edge. So it will be cut out to this edge, this intersection. Quick trim, it will be cut to this intersection. That's how the quick trim works. Now let's see the other next option, that is the close arc option. So as the name suggests, it closes an open arc. To see this command, how this works, we will have to have a open arc. So let's make an arc using the arc option that we had seen in the previous session. Let's say I have an arc over here and I want to complete this arc. I want to make this a full circle. So I will select this close arc option and I will select this arc. You see, it has completed the circle. Let's see that once again. I have an arc over here. I want to complete this and I want to make this a full circle. So I will use this closed arc option. You see, it's converted to a closed circle. That's how the closed arc option works. Now let's see the last option in the relimitations tab. That is the complement option. So as you can see in the symbol, it will give us the opposite side of the arc that is not present in a sketch. So let's see how that looks like. I will have an arc over here. Let's say I have a 1/4 of an arc, but I do not currently want this and I want to have the other 3/4 of this arc. So I will select the complement option and I will select this arc. So you see, I will have the remaining 3/4 of the arc and the original 1/4 of the arc is now gone. If I have a 3/4 of an arc and I want to the rest 1/4 of the arc, I will use the complement arc option. Select this arc. Now the remaining of the arc and the arc that I had drawn will be gone. This is how the complement arc option works. So now let's see what other options that we have in the operations tab. Just close this limitations tab. And here you see that I have a drop down menu over here. So I will also pull this out. This is known as the transformation tab. So as the name suggests, it is used to uh, change the sketch, generally move the sketch, scale up the sketch or scale down the sketch and various options like that. So let's see what we have over here. The first option is the mirror option. As the name suggests, it creates a mirror image of the current sketch. So let's say I have a right angle triangle. on the left side of the y-axis. That's a right angle triangle, and I use the mirror command. I select this whole sketch. I select the y-axis. You see, the mirror image of that right angle triangle is created on the other side of the axis. Similarly, I can mirror this along the x-axis also. Select both the triangles and then select the x-axis. You see, the mirror image is created on the other side of the x-axis. Then the mirror option can be used by using a single line other than axes also. So it does not necessarily needs to have an axis. It just need to have a straight line. So like if I have a straight line over here, I will use the mirror option. Select this triangle. I will select this line. So you see, the mirror is along this line and not the axis. That's the advantage of a mirror option that CATIA provides. So now let's look at the next option that CATIA provides. That is the symmetry option. It works similar to the mirror option, but instead of creating another image, it translates the original image to the other side of the mirrored axis. So let's see how that looks like. So let's again create a right angle triangle over here. I have a right angle triangle over here, and I will use the symmetry option. I will select this sketch, and I will select the y-axis. So you see, I have a mirror image on the other side of the axis, but my original sketch is gone. So this is the symmetry option. It creates the mirror image on the other side, but your original sketch will be gone. So if you want to use something like this, try using the symmetry option instead of the mirror option. So if I want to create a mirror image of this along the x-axis, but I do not want this on the this here down here, I will use the symmetry option. Will use the x-axis. So you see, I have a mirror image on above the axis, and my original sketch that is below the x-axis is now gone. So that's the symmetry option for us. Next, next option is the translate option. So as the name suggests, it translates the original sketch to a distance whatever we want. So let's see how that looks like. So let's suppose that I have a circle over here and I want to translate this circle. I want to move this circle towards the right side by a distance of, say, let's say 50 meters, 50 millimeters. I will use this translate option and select this circle, and I will select a point anywhere, and you see I can drag this to wherever I want. Here you can put the value of the distance you want, that is I will put here 50. You see it will still have a radius at 50 millimeters. So you can place the another circle at a radius 50 millimeters wherever you want. So let's say I have it over here. That's the translate option for us. So if you keep this duplicate mode on, your original sketch will still be present. But if I turn this duplicate option off, my original sketch will be translated to the next option, and I will not have the original sketch. Let's see how that looks like. I turn off this duplicate option. Select this original sketch, click a point. I will put a value of say 30. I will keep it over here. So you see, my original sketch is gone, and I have a translated circle that is 30 mm above the original circle. So that's the translate option for us. Next is the rotate option. So as the name suggests, it is used to rotate the 2D sketches that we have drawn. Let's see how that looks like. So again, to understand this better, I will have a right angle triangle. Yes. I will use the rotate command. Select the sketch. I will select a point along which I want to rotate. Let's say I want to rotate along this point. I can put the values in degrees. Let's say I want to rotate it by 60 degrees. And you see, I have a duplicate image of the original sketch at a 60 degrees. So if you do not want the duplicate image, if you want to change the original sketch to the next option, to a rotated angle, just turn off the duplicate mode over here, as we did in the translate option. Select a point, select the sketch that you want to rotate, and select a point along which you want to rotate. So let's say I want to rotate along this point. I'll put the values to say 30 degrees, and I have turned off the duplicate mode. So my original sketch will now be gone, and I will have a rotated sketch at a 30 degrees. So click on enter. Yes. The original, now the new sketch is rotated to the 30 degrees and my original sketch is gone. So that's how the rotate option works. The next is the scale option. As the name suggests, it is used to scale up or scale down. That is to change the size of the sketch. So let's bring it to the original position first. I will put here minus 30 degrees. See, it is back to original, and I will use the scale option to increase or decrease the size of this. As you can see that I have turned on the default option is the duplicate mode is turned on. So while you select this sketch and you select to the point along which you want to increase or decrease the size, you see the duplicate mode is on, the original sketch will be there, and you will have another sketch that will be increased or decreased in size. So let's say I have put a value of 1.5. So this is my new increase the scaled up size triangle, and this is the original triangle. But if I do not want this original triangle, I can always turn off the duplicate mode. Let's see that also. We'll turn off the duplicate mode option. Select the point along which I want to change the size. If you want to decrease, you will need to multiply the so you will need to multiply it by a value below 1. So let's put a value 0.25. That is the one-fourth of the origin. You see, my sketch is scaled down. Okay. So the last option in the transformation tab is the offset. As the name suggests, if you want to create offset line or offset sketch of the original sketch, we use this option. So let's say I have created many lines, a figure using many lines, and I want to offset them. So also, there is a shortcut. Instead of if you want to use the same command repeatedly, you can always double click that option. So, like I want to create a say let's say a pentagon, and I am using the line command. So instead of taking one line and again selecting the line option each and every time, so if I want to make a pentagon, I will have to select this line 5 times. So it is a very long and time consuming option. So instead of that, CATIA offers a shortcut for using the same command repeatedly. So I will just double click the line option. So you see now I will create the first line. I can continuously make the second line without going to the without taking my cursor to the line option. I will have the second line, and the third line, fourth line, and fifth line. So you see, now to come out of this option, you just need to hit the escape button and you come out of that option. So now let's see the how the offset option works. So just click the offset, select the line you want to offset, drag your mouse towards the direction in which you want to offset. So here in the sketch tools option, you have the distance along which you want to offset, or else you can just simply click the mouse to where you want to offset, and you can change this dimension like we had changed earlier by double clicking it. I want to offset it by, let's say, by 5. So that's it. And I want to take this outside, so I can drag my mouse outside and I can put a value also over here. I will put a value of 5. It will be offsetted by 5. That's the offset option for us. That's all in the transformation tab. The next is the 3D geometry projections tab. So this is usually used when we already have a 3D object and we want to uh, take that object's reference for our next 2D sketch. Like we want the corner intersections or the edges of the 3D sketch into a 2D sketch. So for during that time we have these options. So we will look at them done the when we are done with the 3D modeling uh, options. So that's all in the operations tab. That's all for the today's session. Hope you liked it. Hope to see you in the next session soon. Thank you.